Are you ready to discover the extraordinary life story of the original Santa Claus? Prepare to be captivated by the remarkable journey of Saint Nicholas, a man whose legacy would go on to inspire the beloved figure we know today as Santa Claus. Welcome back to Turkic Tales, where we uncover fascinating tales from history. Today, we delve into the origins of Santa Claus and trace his roots back to the humble beginnings of Patara. So sit back, relax, and join us as we unveil the captivating life story that led to Patara's fame in Europe as Santa Claus. Our story begins in the ancient city of Patara, located in present-day Turkey. Born into a wealthy Christian family in the year 270 AD, Nicholas grew up amidst a world of privilege. He grew up surrounded by privilege and abundance. However, tragedy struck when his parents fell victim to an epidemic, leaving him orphaned. Despite this hardship, Nicholas inherited a significant fortune. Despite his newfound wealth, Nicholas chose a life of compassion and selflessness. He dedicated his resources to helping the poor and needy, embodying the core teachings of Christianity. Nicholas believed that kindness and love were the greatest gifts one could give. As Nicholas matured, he discovered his true calling, to bring joy and happiness to those in need. Legend has it that he would secretly deliver gifts, often in the form of coins, to the less fortunate under the cover of night. After Nicholas's parents passed away, he received their money. Instead of keeping it all for himself, he decided to share it with people who were less fortunate. There is one special story that shows how caring he was. In his town, there was a man who used to be rich but had become poor. This man had 3 daughters, but he couldn't afford to give them money for their weddings. Without this money, the girls might have to become prostitutes or face a difficult life. When Nicholas heard about this family's troubles, he wanted to help them, but he didn't want anyone to know he was helping, so he did everything secretly. He went to their house when it was dark outside and dropped a bag filled with gold coins through the window. This helped the father find a husband for his oldest daughter. Nicholas didn't stop there. He returned to the house again at night and threw another bag of gold coins through the same window. This time, it was for the second daughter. The father was so thankful that he wanted to find out who was helping them. He stayed awake for several nights, hoping to catch a glimpse of Nicholas. On the third night, the father finally saw Nicholas secretly giving a bag of gold to his youngest daughter. The father was overwhelmed with gratitude and fell to his knees to thank Nicholas. But Nicholas asked him to keep this kind act a secret. This story of Nicholas secretly giving gifts has become very popular. It reminds us of the modern Santa Claus, who brings joy to children by leaving gifts in their stockings. Nicholas's reputation for doing miracles and helping others made people call him Nicholas the Wonder Worker. Another incredible story from Nicholas's life involves a ship caught in a terrible storm. The sailors on board were terrified and thought they might lose their lives. They turned to Nicholas for help, and miraculously, the storm calmed down. This event made people believe that Nicholas had the power to protect those who traveled by sea. After Nicholas returned to Myra from a visit to the Holy Land, the bishop of Myra had passed away. The priests in the city had a unique way of choosing the new bishop. They decided that the first priest to enter the church in the morning would become the new bishop. Nicholas went to the church to pray, and he ended up being selected as the new bishop. Some stories say that Nicholas was imprisoned and tortured during a time of persecution, but later released under the orders of Emperor Constantine the Great. One of the earliest stories about Saint Nicholas involves him saving 3 innocent men from being executed. The governor had wrongly condemned these men to death, and they were about to be executed when Nicholas appeared. He pushed the executioner's sword down, released the men from their chains, and scolded a juror who had taken a bribe. This act showed Nicholas's dedication to justice and his willingness to stand up for the innocent. Another story tells of a consul named Ablabius, who had accepted a bribe to put 3 famous generals to death, even though they were innocent. In a dream, Nicholas appeared to Constantine and Ablabius, revealing the truth and warning them of the consequences. Frightened by the dream, Ablabius released the generals to avoid punishment. Later versions of the story combine these two tales. In one version, Emperor Constantine sent 3 trusted generals to suppress a rebellion, but a storm forced them to seek shelter in Myra. While the generals were in the harbor, their soldiers further inland were causing trouble. Nicholas confronted the generals and urged them to stop the misconduct. Shortly after, he heard about the 3 innocent men facing execution and sought the generals' help to save them. They assisted Nicholas in stopping the execution and confronted the corrupt governor. The generals were then promoted by Constantine for their bravery. In the year 325, a significant event took place known as the First Council of Nicaea. This gathering brought together bishops from different regions to discuss important matters of faith and establish a unified understanding of Christian beliefs. It is said that Nicholas, the kind-hearted bishop of Myra, attended this historic council. He played a role in shaping the discussions and decisions that would have a lasting impact on the development of Christian theology. One of the main issues debated at the Council of Nicaea was the belief known as Arianism. Arianism taught that Jesus, the Son of God, was not equal to God the Father, but was a created being of lesser divinity. This belief challenged the traditional understanding of the Trinity, which held that the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit were all equally God. Nicholas firmly opposed Arianism and stood as a staunch supporter of the Orthodox belief in the Trinity. Although some historical accounts mention Nicholas's presence at the council, there are also discrepancies and debates surrounding his attendance. Notable figures like Athanasius of Alexandria, who was a prominent defender of Trinitarianism, and Eusebius, a renowned historian of the time, do not specifically mention Nicholas's participation. Different lists of attendees vary in terms of the number of names included. Some shorter lists mention around 200 participants, while longer lists contain approximately 300 names. Interestingly, Nicholas's name appears only in the longer lists, not the shorter ones. This inconsistency has led scholars to offer different interpretations. One possibility is that Nicholas did not actually attend the Council of Nicaea, but at some point, someone added his name to the list due to confusion or a desire to honor his contributions to the Christian faith. This explanation suggests that his presence at the council might have been recognized and appreciated later on. Another possibility is that Nicholas did attend the council, but for reasons unknown, someone decided to remove his name from certain lists. The motive behind such an omission remains uncertain, but it might have been an intentional act to downplay or erase Nicholas's role in the council's discussions. Even after Saint Nicholas passed away, his impact and influence continued to inspire people for generations to come. His acts of kindness, generosity, and love for children left an indelible mark on the world, giving rise to the beloved figure we now know as Santa Claus. As time went on, different cultures embraced and adapted the character of Santa Claus, incorporating their own unique traditions and stories. From the Netherlands, where Sinterklaas originated, to the United Kingdom, where Father Christmas was celebrated, Santa Claus transcended borders and became a universal symbol of joy and holiday spirit. In the early 19th century, the modern image of Santa Claus began to take shape. This transformation was influenced by various factors, including the famous poem A Visit from St. Nicholas, also known as The Night Before Christmas, and the iconic illustrations by Thomas Nast. These works portrayed Santa Claus as a cheerful, round-bellied figure with a long white beard, dressed in a vibrant red suit. This depiction became the essential image of Santa Claus that we recognize today. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through the life of Santa Claus, St. Nicholas of Patara. His story has touched hearts around the world, reminding us of the power of compassion and generosity. If you enjoyed this video, remember to like, share, and subscribe to Turkic Tales for more captivating episodes.